Namaste, children. We will continue this chapter 20, Indian Judiciary, and the last topic was left, that was public interest litigation. Public interest means the litigation which is for the public interest, जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं जनहित याचिका. And this public interest litigation is meant for the poor and illiterate sections of the society who don't know how to seek justice, how to move to the court and get the justice. They don't know all these processes. So the concept of public interest litigation was devised by Supreme Court of India. So you can get a question from here that who devised the public interest litigation? The answer will be Supreme Court of India. So please underline it, children. Any person from the public, whether affected or not, may write an ordinary letter or even a postcard drawing the attention of the High Court or the Supreme Court towards any matter of serious public importance. I'll just give you an example. That if you are residing in any of your area or locality and any of the person from that society, from that area is getting affected by anything, for example, that you are living in a society and in front of that lots of garbage is been depositing at one place, and for that it is affecting the health of the people residing in nearby areas. So anyone can raise the voice and draw the attention of High Court or Supreme Court towards this problem. Whether he or she is affected or not, it doesn't matter. But it can draw the attention of the court towards that problem for the public interest. For example, one may write about the inadequate and unsafe transport system or supply of unhygienic drinking water, about the exploitation of children and women in a particular establishment. Yes, this is also one of the fundamental right, that we cannot exploit the children up to the age of 14 years. And if anybody is doing it, if it is anyone is harassing women, one can draw the attention of the court towards that particular issue by writing a letter and drawing the attention of the court towards that. Because all these works are for public interest, for public importance, for public welfare. If the court is convinced that the matter and in how it will be getting that that case will be solved or that problem will be solved, the court will now investigate into that problem. The court will investigate into that matter, and if really that problem is there with the people, if it is affecting the public interest, it will take up and take necessary steps and solve the problems and decide the case. So here anyone can do this. Public interest litigation is a novel idea. If it is asking you what is the importance of public interest, you can write that it helps the poor people. This is one of the advantage. It is working for the illiterate sections of the society and the ignorant people, those who don't know how to seek justice, how to move to the court, because for them justice is a dream. The success story of various PILs has encouraged people to initiate more and more PILs on the matters of urgent public importance. It seems that PIL has served the purpose for which it was devised. Yes, it is absolutely correct that for the purpose for which this PIL was being initiated or devised, it is satisfying the people. It is a great boon for the common man. It is a great, you can say, it is helping the common man in various ways and solving their problems. It has set right a number of wrongs committed by an individual or society. It has brought a legal aid to millions of poor, illiterate, and ignorant Indians. Repeatedly, it is telling that it is for the poor, illiterate, and ignorant. That means those people who are not aware about all these. For them, it is a great boon. Now, this PIL case was India in 1986 when P.N. Bhagwati, the Chief Justice, introduced this PIL to the Indian judicial system. But actually, the original idea was to give marginalized citizens to get justice. But in 1990s, PIL had transformed the legal procedure with a high profile cases. So it was actually introduced by P.N. Bhagwati. There are lots of examples about PIL cases. Recently, Supreme Court was to hear petition against Nageshwara Rao as for on CBI interim chief, who was Nageshwar Rao. Like that, in your book also there are some examples, two PIL cases that has changed the lives. Let's see how it changed. One was Sheila Barse versus State of Maharashtra in 1983. This was the historic judgment that dealt with the issue of custodial violence against women in prison. Yes, you cannot, if any woman is in prison, you cannot do any type of violence. For that, this case was there, and this resulted in an order facilitating separate police lookups for women convicts in order to shield them for further trauma and brutality. That means no such trauma or brutality should took place. For that, this PIL case was a very effective one that changed the life of a woman. Next was green litigation in 1998. It was against CNG vehicles, where environmentalist MC Mehta was behind the court's order on CNG vehicles in Delhi. CNG verdict on July 28, 1998 forced the vehicles in the capital to switch to different fuels in order to keep a check on the vehicular pollution. So these were the two PIL cases that changed the life. So children, this is all about this public interest litigation. So children, we will be doing today something to know. ABC part. The Lok Adalat was generally presided over by retired judge. Who among the following does not work under the Board of Revenue Metropolitan Magistrate? The judges of the Supreme Court may continue to remain in the office till the attainment of 65 years. The fourth one, which one of the following statements about public interest litigation is false? It was devised by Supreme Court. That is also true. It is proved to be a boon for the upper class, middle. No, absolutely no. It is for the common people. It has brought legal aid. It is also true. It is related to matters of urgent. So the second, that is B point, is not true. In public interest litigation. So the answer will be B. Which case related to the following subjects is a civil case? Murder, robbery, cheating, all these are criminal. Marriage is a civil case. Highest revenue court in the district is the Board of Revenue. We have read in the different types of courts there: subordinate, civil courts. There we have read in the revenue court also. Any law declared uncountable immediately ceases to remain in force. Unconstitutional. So what will be it? Any law declared unconstitutional. The answer is unconstitutional. Okay, for the number 2. Criminal cases begin with the lodging of first information report, that is FIR full form. Legal cases can be either civil or criminal in nature. And the 5th one, Supreme Court is the guardian of Indian Constitution. So this is all about fill in the blanks. Next we come to true false. Tax evasion is a crime. True. The judges of the High Court are appointed by the Chief Justice of India. False. They are appointed by President. The courts of the session judge is the highest civil court in a district. The court of the session judge is the highest civil court in a district. It will be false. The high court has the power of judicial review. True. Subordinate courts are equally competent to interrupt the Constitution of India. It will be false. Next is your brief questions. First is, what is meant by independence of judiciary? Give any 2 examples to prove that Indian judiciary is independent. Let me show you in page number 230. 230. First of all, you will define what is meant by independence of judiciary. So, this is your answer. Free from the influence of legislature and executive. As I told you that our Indian, there are 3 organs in the government: legislature, executive and judiciary. But the judiciary is the only organ which works in an independent and impartial manner. So, first part, what is meant by independence judiciary? You will write independent judiciary means that it is free from the influence of legislature and executive. And the next part, it has asked you to give 2 examples which you will write from here. Okay, page number 230. Next is your differentiate between civil and criminal cases. You will get in page number 231. So you will write from here. This is your D2, civil cases and criminal cases. Children, you will also give some examples there. You will give 1-2 examples there. Next is the composition of criminal court and revenue court. Page number 237. Come to page number 237. Criminal courts and revenue courts. So from here you will write composition. Criminal courts, you will write here the highest court is session judge. D3 answer for criminal court. Highest court is session judge. After that it is magistrate of first, second, third, and in metropolitans the first class magistrate is there, that is metropolitan magistrate. And for revenue courts you will write the highest revenue court is the Board of Revenue, and these are the officials there: Court of Commissioner, Collector, Tehsildar and Assistant Tehsildar works under Board of Revenue. Only this much you will write. Okay. Next is, what qualifications are required to be a judge of the Supreme Court and how can a judge of Supreme Court can be removed? That is page 233. What qualifications are required to be the judge of Supreme Court? So from here you will write this qualifications. These qualifications you will write. This is for D4 answer. And how they are, can the judge of Supreme Court be removed? You will write that on the grounds of proved misbehavior, incapacity to discharge functions, by the president, a resolution is been passed by each house of the parliament by special majority during the same session, which is called impeachment. So if the judge of the Supreme Court is proved been found, if they are been found on the grounds, if can be removed on the grounds of proved misbehavior or incapacity to discharge functions. Only this much you write, children. How they can be removed? Simply you will write on the grounds of proved misbehavior or incapacity to discharge functions. The judge can be removed by the president on the basis of the resolution passed by each house of the parliament by special majority during the same session. And this process is called impeachment. The next question is, India has a single, unified, integrated judicial system. You come to page number 231. From here you will write, this is your D5. Supreme Court is the apex highest judicial authority, followed by high courts in the states and then the subordinate courts in every district. This is the first point you will write. First point. Here, children, you have to understand this word, single, unified, integrated judicial system. The apex court is Supreme Court. Unified means and integrated means that if we are not satisfied with the lower court, we can appeal to the high court. And if we are not satisfied with the decision of high court, ultimately we can appeal to the Supreme Court. You also write this, the lowest court in the judicial hierarchy order is the Court of Magistrates. This is your second point, children. The lower court are controlled and supervised by high courts. And the third point you will write, a judgment given by lower court can be challenged in the higher court. This is your third point. So, children, please do the D part and do ABC in your book. And in my next video, I will give you the E part of question answers, or I will give you through PDF. You do this ABCD part and long questions I will give you through PDF. Okay, children? So, what is your homework? Your homework is to do D part in civics notebook. Okay? And your E part I will give you through PDF those question answers. Okay, children? Thank you.